Hey, let's start episode 50 by talking about how you can get money in your hand today. That's right. If you were thinking about trading in your used vehicle or just flat out getting rid of it, Mohawk Honda, Scotia Glenville, upstate New York, that's the place you want to go because they have their Kelly Blue Book instant cash offer going on right now where when you show up on the lot, you don't have to wait 3 to 5 business days, no 2 to 4 weeks. Screw that. The day you go on the lot with your vehicle, you get a check in your hand for the fair amount that you are due for that vehicle. That's right. No waiting. Check in hand the day you show up. Or what about just trading in? Well, that's perfect because the new vehicle inventory, as well as the certified pre-owned used vehicle inventory, keeps rolling into the lot at Mohawk Honda. You can check out all the vehicles that are coming onto the lot in Scotia and Glenville by following Mohawk Honda on their Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms, or just go to the website, mohawkhonda.com. You can find a ton of great vehicles there, even as recent as 2020s and 2021s being sold at fair value by our friends at Mohawk Honda, where all of their sales and leasing consultants are ready to work with you to find the best vehicle for your budget and lifestyle at a fair and convenient price for you. That's right. Visit Mohawk Honda, Scotia Glenville this spring, where they always go out of their way to please you. That being said, let out the bells and whistles, the confetti, the streamers, the flailing arm dudes that Bailey used to have. It's episode 50 and the 1 year anniversary of White Heat right here, presented by Godzilla Media. I'm Brian Katie. That's JJ Alexander. JJ, happy anniversary! I
Yeah,
don't think
we've
I'd
come a
ever
long
thought
way.
I'd actually. I didn't think I'd actually ever say to another dude, "Happy anniversary." But happy anniversary!
Just think,
That's
just
not
a year
demeaning at all.
ago,
It's just
just a year ago, we were just starting. I was using an ancillary laptop downstairs in my workshop.
that's right. Now you've upgraded to the uh, the
The home
studio
PC.
microphone that you have there, the
Yep.
home PC, and you're still drinking and vaping whatever the fuck you feel like. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Uh, the, I've upgraded from being in my dining room where people could have walked by at any moment to a little office area with the Derek Jeter poster, the banner from the other podcast I haven't done in months but need to get going on again. Yeah, yeah, things are things are good in the neighborhood. Today is going to be a very very interesting show. Very
Yeah.
very interesting. Um, and we're gonna go. I know we don't have any formal order to the show. There's been like an informal order to the way we usually do things. But I want to get the least interesting shit out of the way first. So that starts us with Impact Wrestling because they're the least interesting shit out of the stuff we usually talk about.
Mhm.
Although, they, before we even get into this past week of Impact Television, I'd like to formally announce that Impact Wrestling has officially killed one of the best gimmicks they have in the company. Correct me if I'm wrong. They have now booked. Is this their third Ultimate X match in like 6 months?
Yeah.
I I I I don't understand it because they've announced that
Yeah.
they're going to have an Ultimate X match for the X Division Championship on June 19th, which I believe is Father's Day, by the way. That's when they're going to air Slammiversary on pay-per-view. Ace Austin will defend the title against 5 other challengers, one already being named Kenny King, which I'm assuming was part of Impact this past week. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
I just what, how much lack of creativity can you have to take something that wasn't even an annual thing necessarily? This was something that they tried to make it annual, but wasn't always annual. It was at least
Mhm.
once every 2 years at one point in Impact.
Mhm.
And now you're just completely bastardizing the whole thing. Because I know
Yep.
they had one for, I want to say it was for the Digital Media Championship.
And then they had the one for the women's title.
Right. And it's all been since, I want to say, around Halloween.
The beginning of the year. Yeah.
I mean, Oh, Dios mio! What I mean, you can't just have like a traditional ladder match. Like, why does everything got
Nah,
to go right to Ultimate X? You can't find a nice middle ground somewhere so you're not overdoing the gimmick you created.
I mean, it could
Or am
be
I just
worse. It could
am
be
I just
worse. It could,
asking too much?
it could be Elevation X.
But am
That'd
I
be
asking
really
too
bad.
much? Yeah. Am I
No, you're
asking too
not.
much?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not losing my marbles. All right, it has been a year of doing this, so I don't know. Maybe there's a chance I could be losing my marbles a little bit. Then they also announced that at the same Slammiversary show, talk about overbooking your show, we're gonna have the first ever Queen of the Mountain match.
The worst gimmick match in Impact history, and they're bringing it back.
5 women for the Knockouts World Title. Deonna Purrazzo, the former, I believe, 2-time champion. Chelsea Green. Tasha Steele's the reigning champion. Jordan Grace, a former champion. And Mia Yim, who was also a former, I believe, 2-time champion
Mm-hmm.
from her time before when she was at Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remind me, because I will wholeheartedly be open here about this. I've never allowed myself to sit through the torture, start to finish, of a King of the Mountain match. Now, from what I understand, if I remember correctly, and tell me if I'm wrong about the rules here,
Mm-hmm.
you have to, like, the belt isn't hanging, it's on, like, down on the floor level, and it's basically the first person to go up and put it in whatever thing would hold
To
it
hang it
is
up
the
on
winner.
the holder. Yeah, but the whole thing
It's
is
a
it's
reverse
multiple.
ladder match, essentially.
It's a reverse ladder match, but with the added stipulations of you can attempt pinfalls on people during it, and if you score a pinfall, the person that got pinned goes in a penalty box for 3 minutes of the match. Yes.
A penalty box?
Yeah.
Wait, uh,
It's like a little shark cage that they call a penalty box. And you get put in there for 3 minutes. Yep. So you get put in there to get taken out of the match for a few
Oh,
minutes.
what are we doing? Maybe it's a good thing I never have watched one, because
I mean, it was far worse when they actually had a King of the Mountain title.
True. That was a Jeff Jarrett creation, wasn't it?
Well, actually, it was a Dixie Carter creation, and they took the Global Force title and turned it into the King of the Mountain title.
But it had to have Jeff's blessing because it was still his company's belt.
Yes and no. That was when Jarrett was trying to get back into being more of an owner of Impact after he'd already put up his shares.
Right, but I mean, Global Force was still his baby. I mean, you would assume.
Yeah, but he had no money for it. He was doing that gold pyramid scheme to try to raise money for it.
Gold pyramid scheme. Okay.
He was selling gold. You go to the GFW site, Global Force Gold, and oh yeah,
I got you. Speaking of X Division champ, they had him wrestle on the pre-show before the Impact this week. Nothing screams putting a spotlight on your champion like putting him in the fucking pre-show.
especially when that champion is also in the fucking Super Juniors tournament in New Japan right now.
Yeah, because fuck it, why not? He beat Aiden Prince at least he won. He didn't job out, thank God. So let me get to the actual TV show. Kenny King took on Chris Bay in an Ultimate X qualifying match. Kenny King won, so that there you go. He was the first qualifier for the Ultimate X match. Then we had Knockouts tag team title match. The Influence successfully defends against Giselle Shaw and Alicia. So Madison Rain, Neil Dashwood, good for them, I guess. Whatever. Then we had Violent by Design promo saying they want their rematch against the Briscoes for the Impact World titles. World Tag Team titles, excuse me. And then Eric Young says he's going to win the gauntlet for the gold. We'll see about that. Then Gail Kim comes out and announces the first ever Queen of the Mountain match, which was already went over. Blah, 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 blah. Then backstage interview with Rich Swann talking about Gauntlet for the Gold. Then we had Josh Alexander and Tomohiro Ishii defeat Jay White and El Phantasmo in tag team action as Ishii pinned Phantasmo with the Brainbuster. Then we have the Briscoes promo offering Doring
Lessons in how to wrestle.
basically saying that they'll give Violent by Design their tag title rematch next week on Impact. And then they have a promo for the they announced stuff for next week on Impact. Aside from the tag title match, you're also gonna have Laredo Kid against Mike Bailey in an Ultimate X qualifying match. Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans and Deonna Purrazzo will be in 6-woman tag action against Taya Valkyrie, Jordan Grace, and Mia Yim. And then Mike Bennett and Matt Taven against the Good Brothers in tag team action. So that's your card for this coming week, apparently. There you go. Gauntlet for the Gold, main event. 2 men begin the match. New competitor enters every 2 minutes. After that, new competitor every 90 seconds. So basically, it's a battle royal.
It's a gauntlet match.
It's a battle royal.
Okay.
It's a battle royal until you get down to the final 2. Then it's pinfall or submission.
Yeah. Yes.
Great. Lovely. Let's see. It came down to Eric Young and Chris Sabin. Eric Young hits a pile driver, gets the pinfall win. So Eric Young is going to get a shot at Josh Alexander for the Impact World title at Slammiversary.
They need an entertaining heel to go against the blandest of Alexander.
Essentially. So that's your Impact update, and it's about as bland as you expect it to be.
Oh, we're not going to talk about what happened during the tapings? About how they brought back the very worst stable of all time?
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, yeah. So during the tapings for Impact, I'm assuming this is probably going to be, what? Probably in not this coming week's Impact, maybe next week's.
Uh-huh.
They brought back Aces and Eights in the form of the tag team of Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe, because everybody wanted Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe back in Impact, and they're being managed.
And they got D'Lo managing them. Are they supposed to be fucking baby faces? Because the last time we saw D'Lo, he was getting put through a table by fucking Honor No More.
I think so, because if I remember correctly, the match they were in during the tapings was against 2 members of Honor No More, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
I want to say it was against Kenny King and somebody else. I don't exactly remember for sure. Obviously, we'll find out when it's on the whatever episode they're taped for.
So not only is it the 2 very worst members of Aces and Eights, but it's a babyface Aces and Eights.
Yeah, you couldn't get either of the Dudleys. You couldn't get Ken Anderson. You couldn't get fucking
Knox.
Right. No.
Good Brothers are gone, thank God.
Yeah, let's bring back Garrett and Wes.
And like they haven't worked anywhere since like for 5 fucking years. So, and they were never good to begin with.
Right. Wes, at least Wes, I think, has kept himself fresh on the indie scene. But I don't remember Garrett doing a whole fucking lot of anything.
He hasn't. He hasn't done anything since his dad was there.
This is how you know Impact doesn't even make a blip on the radar right now in the American wrestling scene. This was so under the radar that there wasn't very many news, like buzzkill sites that put out this tease publicly, and B, there weren't even any good rumors about these guys fucking returning to begin with.
Right.
That's how bad it is right now in Impact.
Like, it's amazing. Like, Impact will like go through like a short span where they're doing something actually good, and then they'll just fucking kill it. And just boom. Yep. Nope, we're done. We gave people something good, and now we're going to give you another year of awfulness.
Yeah, I mean, right now you have an X division that's being bastardized by the fact that you're overkilling their best gimmick, which is their match, the Ultimate X match.
Mm-hmm.
You have a women's title division that's a fucking mess. Um, and now obviously, this is the only way I'm going to be able to connect this story into our show. And now, the obvious question that people are going to put out there, even though there's no fucking way it can happen. Bitchface gets herself shit canned by a woman of wrestling. So now Tessa Blanchard is a free agent. So obviously people are going to be like, well, maybe she's changed. Maybe she can come back. No. Fucking no.
Impact ain't never bringing her back. No. She's on that blacklist of Impact along with fucking Cross and Scarlett.
Yeah, I'm about to say, there's not a very big black book when it comes to Impact. She's one of on the short list in that black book, all right?
Yeah.
All right. It's like when they talk about the black book in the movie Casino. And fucking Joe Pesci's like, there's only 2 people in that black book, and one of them's still Al Capone. It's kind of like that with Impact. There's not a whole lot of people in it, but Tessa's one of them, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho, so that's Impact. I'm done talking about it. Fuck them all. That's just how I feel about it. So let's get to some good wrestling, actually. Let's get to New Japan. And let's start with their New Japan Strong show from over the weekend, Capital Collision, which was out in Washington, D.C. Their dark match, Nick Camarado won their dark match. Ooh. I don't even know who the fuck this kid was that he beat.
Go.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck Kevin Knight. Never heard of him. Whatever.
Nah.
Then your first official match of the card, Carl Fredericks defeated Ren Narita in 10.5 minutes. Then we had a 10-man tag involving, just to throw out a few names on each side, David Finlay, Tonga Loa was on one side. On the other side, you had Lawler, Royce Isaacs, JR Kratos. But in the end, Danny Limelight gets the win for Lawler's team, pinning the DKC in just under 15 minutes. Then in singles action, they had Chase Owens defeat Great Okan in 8:45 on a roll-up. Because reasons. 8-man tag, Mikey Nichols gets the win for him, Shane Haste, Jonah, and Bad Dude Tito. He pinned Kyle Fletcher, who had teamed with Aaron Hanare, Mark Davis, and Jeff Cobb. Then, this...
a lot of mixing young boys in there.
Yeah, this next match has me... I don't know how I feel about the result of this next match. They had Brody King beat Minoru Suzuki in less than 10 minutes.
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about longer. That. My point. Thank you. Like we're not at a point where Minoru was just like, fuck it, just pay me and that's it, right? We're not at that point yet, are we?
I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
I feel like he put his all into his shit about 4 years ago when like Murder Grandpa first became a thing and was running roughshod, and then like they just decided to not like put him in any title hunts, and so now he's just like fuck it.
Kind of sad. Especially considering the next match went over 16 minutes, and Ishii beat Eddie Kingston in that match. Like, I don't know. By the way, horrible booking. You basically put the same kind of match back to back right there. Yeah. Aside from the fact that Brody's taller than all the other three guys. I don't know. Anyways, then we had a tag match. Jay White got the pinfall on Rocky Romero. The teams were Jay White and Hikalao? Is that what we're sold on?
Hikaleo.
Jesus fuck! They faced Okada and Rocky Romero. Jay White pinned Rocky Romero. There. Then your main event, which
What did they do?
they put the U.S. title belt on Juice fucking Robinson again.
Oi.
They had him pin Will Ospreay, which is the one saving grace. But it was a four-way. It was a four-way with Tanahashi in his first title defense, by the way. Jon Moxley, Will Ospreay, and Juice Robinson. Robinson pins Ospreay. So obviously we know what's going to happen now. Tanahashi's going to be like, "You never pinned me. I am still the ace." And then it's going to be Tanahashi and Juice at some point. Like we know where this is going.
Right, but there's a reason they did that.
Because being a Bullet Club look like some kind of a big deal when it's not.
That's one part of it. The other part is that they need to keep that U.S. title away from Moxley, Ospreay, and Tanahashi because they might get Ospreay for Forbidden Door. Moxley obviously can't get it, and fucking Tanahashi's not even going to be at that pay-per-view, but they got to fucking keep the allure of him being there, and if he's the U.S. champion, it's not going to happen.
What's wrong with Moxley getting it?
Because AEW doesn't want to have him fucking having a singles title when they're trying to push this trios bullshit.
But we'll let Wheeler Yuta go out on a 3-week loan for the Best of Super Juniors because fuck it.
Well, yeah, because he's the young boy.
And who said Moxley has to go over to Japan and work every fucking show? He wasn't doing it the first time he was the U.S. champ.
I'm not saying he has to. I'm not saying he has to. It's just the fact that they want to build up this fucking extra pay-per-view and they don't want to do it with one of their guys holding a New Japan belt. Because that'll eliminate a dream match. Fucking sense. I'm just saying this is the logic that they're using.
I'm gonna ignore the bad logic and move on. So we had our first night of Best of Super Juniors over the weekend. In fact, it was for us yesterday morning. For Japan, it was last night. I'll just skip over the insignificant tag team matches and go right to the tournament matches. Ace Austin beat Clark Connors.
For England, it was tomorrow.
Well, no. England is between us and Japan, technically.
It was a joke.
Oh. I didn't get the joke, sorry.
And we're on a delay.
Yeah. So in the A block, Ace Austin beats Clark Connors. Alex Zane beats Kanemaru. Francesco Akira beats Sho. Interesting. Hiromu Takahashi beats Taguchi, and then Ishimori beats Taiji Ishimori beats Yo. So yeah, and those were all the first matches of the A block. Meanwhile, the B block starts up. What would be, as we're recording this right now, it's 1:45 Eastern time. I'm trying to think. Their shows usually start 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Eastern time. So about 12 to 14 hours from now is going to be the first night of B block, in which the first matches are going to be, let's see here. The first matches are going to be TJP and Master Wato, Wheeler Yuta and Robbie Eagles, El Desperado and Teton, El Phantasmo against Bushi, Doki against El Lindemann. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, got it. All right. That should cover everyone. 1, 2. Let me just double check and make sure I covered everything. Teton, El Desperado, Wato and TJP, Eagles and Yuta, Bushi and Phantasmo, Lindemann and Doki. Yep. And then guys from the A block are doing the opening three matches, basically. Yep. That's how it works. All right. So that covers that. Um, any idea in your mind about where they're going to go with Best of Super Juniors? Who they might lean on to go to the finals? I have an idea for A block, B block. I'm not so sure about.
It's still up in the air for me this early. It's not gonna be one of the outsiders. It's gonna be one of the homegrown guys. I guarantee that.
Yeah, I feel like A block's going to be Ishimori or Hiromu. B block, I'm not so sure on. I feel like B block's a little more up in the air. Um, so we're going to move on to a subject that
And everyone
Ace Austin and Wheeler Yuta are just kind of fillers. I feel like they'll get a few wins, but they're just kind of filler material.
Yuta is not gonna get anywhere near as far as people think he is.
So we're going to move on to a conversation that's a little. We're not going to AEW and Ring of Honor yet. We're not doing that yet. Well, not. There's not really anything Ring of Honor, so we're not doing anything AEW related yet. I'm gonna hold off on that. But I feel like there's another topic we need to address. That's you caught me listening to a clip before we started recording this episode, so I think you know where I'm going with this. Over the course of last week, let's just say things have picked up a little bit involving New Japan Pro Wrestling star Kota Ibushi and the let's just call them allegations for the time being. Yeah. Um. So here's what I want to do. What I essentially want to do is try to take our listeners on a bit of a historical tour because I feel like to understand what Kota Ibushi is trying to pull the veil back on is something that has a very long history within Japan and their general entertainment services in the country, particularly combat sports. Um, Now, for those who aren't familiar with the phrase Yakuza, if you're watching the YouTube video and see the banner that we have up, um, Yakuza is basically the Japanese mafia, for lack of a better phrase. Um, and they have a strong shareholder kind of thing. Um, let's say they have a strong hand over the entertainment services provided within the country of Japan. And most notably combat sports. Like there was a lot of talk about them being involved behind the scenes with Pride Fighting Championship before they went under. Um, there's a lot of
Yep.
talk about how involved, and I think this was brought up during the Dark
And
Side of the Ring.
DDT.
Yeah, DDT. I believe this was brought up during the Dark Side of the Ring episode involving this. Although I didn't get to see the episode, so I can't confirm or deny it. But they were also rumored to be big time behind Onita and FMW back in the day. Um, but obviously, the most notable thing that I think that we could bring up right now, because for lack of a better phrase, I'm scared for Kota Ibushi. So if you go back 60 years, there is a gentleman um, considered
Yeah.
he was a national war hero. He was one of the most famous people in the history of Japan. Really the godfather of Japanese pro wrestling as we know it today. And also now a WWE Hall of Famer, by the way. Um,
Ricky Dojin.
Ricky Dojin. Um, died at the age of 58. And these, so here's the background. It might not be the perfect background, but this is essentially what I've got here. He became a sumo wrestler originally, then left sumo in 1950. And then after attending an American pro wrestling show, he got the idea of becoming a pro wrestler. Becomes a pro wrestler in 51. And it's post World War II, so he just climbs the ranks and becomes this huge national hero in the process. Would end up being NWA International Heavyweight Champion, beating Lou Thesz in 58. Also had a ton of pro wrestling students that would go on to tremendous careers like Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba. He began acquiring different properties like boxing promotions, nightclubs, hotels, so on. He formed the Japan Pro Wrestling Alliance, where he booked himself as the top star, so on and so forth. And he really became known as the godfather of pro wrestling in the country of Japan. Like before there was Inoki and Muhammad Ali, before there was anything with Giant Baba, before there was anything with Kabashi, before any of that, before Andre the Giant even stepped over there, or Bruiser Brody, there was Ricky Dojin. Like that was the man. So what happens is, December of 63, Ricky Dojin's out having fun, chilling at a bar or whatever. Apparently, a member of the Yakuza had stepped on his shoe, and Ricky Dojin wanted an apology. This guy refused. They start arguing. Then, this Yakuza guy named, by the way, Katsushi Murata is the name, pulls out a knife. Ricky Dojin's like, all right, listen, let's just talk this out. Murata refused. The two get it to exchange in blows, and then eventually Ricky Dojin gets stabbed in the abdomen. Murata fled the scene. Ricky Dojin goes to the hospital, and then he apparently goes under successful surgery and goes home. Problem being, Ricky Dojin doesn't follow doctor protocol about not drinking alcohol and the amount of food he was supposed to be eating, and basically had to go back for surgery a week later. Problem being, he developed a condition called peritonitis, which is inflammation of the lining of the wall of your abdomen and other abdominal organs. And because of that, it was so severe, he ends up dying from that condition. So long story short, the stabbing causes death. Murata is brought to... This is what happens when you hit the wrong button.
Okay.
I was trying to go back on my...
okay.
I hit back on the wrong tab of my internet. My bad, guys. So Murata eventually gets arrested. He's found guilty of manslaughter, serves 8 years in prison. And Murata, whatever. Eventually, Murata is kind of like a changed man. He visits his grave every year. And Murata eventually passes away, like, I think 15 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
The long and short of what I'm trying to explain is Kota Ibushi is putting himself in a very sensitive position.
Uh-huh.
He is potentially putting himself in a life-threatening situation.
Mm-hmm.
In that he's basically saying that the Yakuza has huge control over New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a multifaceted problem here, potentially. Number one, Kota Ibushi. And I'd like to get your opinion on that, because I know you and I, it seems like you and I are like the only people in the Western world who are paying actual attention to this goddamn story,
mm-hmm.
and are willing to discuss it.
Yeah.
So I know you have very good knowledge about this topic, and you've done this your share of research as well as I have. So, from a Kota Ibushi standpoint, where are you mentally with this topic and Kota Ibushi and his safety and his career going forward at this point?
I honestly think that he needs to pull a Salman Rushdie and just kind of become a nomad, because he's not safe where he is. Like, flee to the States, bro. Freaking hide out here. Like, don't work on any shows with another Japanese wrestler on them if you can get booked. Like, he's not safe. And like, because it's he's the one that it was just 2 years, a lifetime contract with New Japan, and I was just like, that's I don't know if I could ever see anyone signing a lifetime contract with any wrestling company. I was like, well, looks like he's untouchable, and that wasn't the kind of untouchable I was thinking. And freaking, but then like he comes out and he says that, he says all these things about exploitation, and at first we thought there was like some like sexual stuff going on, which we still don't know if that's part of the case or not. But he basically started talking about people working for slave wages and all this stuff, and then he just basically comes out and says, I've got text messages, the Yakuza's in control of this shit. And you got like a couple of threads on Reddit about it, and like the problem is all the American quote unquote dirt sheets don't want to touch it because fucking Forbidden Door is happening next month. And oh no, oh my God, oh no, if my dream matches don't fucking happen. Like, this fucking goes beyond fucking professional wrestling. This goes beyond fucking video game fantasy booking. This involves someone's fucking life. And that's what people don't seem to fucking get.
Before we get specific into Forbidden Door, you actually transitioned right into a question I was going to bring up. Is how in the world is this not making a bigger splash? Not just dirt sheets. This is like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, this goes beyond just dirt sheet bullshit.
Uh-huh.
And nobody's fucking saying a word about it. I know this is an extreme example, but this almost feels like, at least based on the historical research I've done and going through and being an American history lover like I am, this almost feels like how American media treated Hitler in Germany in the 30s.
Uh-huh.
Like, kind of out of sight, out of mind type of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, again, yes, I know I'm using an extreme example, but the approach is the same. Like, nobody, and I mean nobody, is talking about this. The usual sites I check out for news to prep for our shows, not a fucking word.
Mm-hmm.
Not anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they talked about Kota's initial tweet like a couple weeks ago when he said something about
I'm gonna let the truth be revealed. Yeah.
Right. But ever since he's been saying what he's been saying about the truth, nobody is talking about the truth that he's speaking. And I mean, aside from the dirt sheets, being a bunch of basement goblins who jerk off to dream matches, why would this not be covered more? Why aren't there more people talking about this?
Well, so as far as number one, it has anything to do with with the fucking Yakuza. American media isn't going to pick it up because American media doesn't fucking care. Like, it doesn't involve us, so why does that's just the problem with the way news media is run here, is if it doesn't involve us, fuck all, we don't care. Like, until it escalates to the point of like Ukraine. Like, sadly, that's the case that it is. International media, Reuters hasn't done anything. Al Jazeera hasn't done anything. I mean, it's because they consider that like because outside of the U.S. is mainly focused on entertainment news. The rest of the world, when it comes to news, they consider wrestling entertainment, so they're not really going to cover it. So it falls in this weird gray area. And as far as your comparison goes, I've got one that works a little that works on the same level, so you don't feel as bad. But World War II and Japanese people in America, all Japanese Americans being put into internment camps here in America. There's people that still to this day don't know that happened.
I mean, just look at the West Coast. Just like
Because it was
that's
never fucking talked about.
right. Like you look at the West Coast. I mean, that's where a lot of it happened. I mean, basically, um, the Japanese and
Okay.
the Japanese and the Chinese, like they were essentially enslaved um to help build up the West Coast.
Yep.
And it just I don't know, like you're totally right. You're totally right. Like, but here's the thing though. Like
Mhm.
there have been prevalent issues like in the past in Japan with wrestling. Like
Yeah.
I I don't know. This just feels weird to me. And then to top it all off, this is all happening 6 weeks before Forbidden Door.
Mhm.
So now here's the dirty question that needs to be asked, which is why it should be covered more in the Western world. You have this partnership with AEW and DDT. You have a partnership between AEW and New Japan. Apparently, it's never been officially recognized, but they're doing a fucking show together, so we might as well just say they're together. Okay, we might as well just say they're in bed together.
Mm-hmm.
Is nobody willing to put the fucking dots together on this one? Like, I'm
No
not
one
trying to say
involved.
I'm not trying to say Tony Khan is in the Japanese Mafia. That's not what I'm saying necessarily. But if you're
He
doing
knows.
business, like, who's getting paid off? Who's getting their hands greased? There's got to be something there.
I fucking guarantee Tony Khan knows what's going on and is greasing a lot of palms. Because I don't want to get into the history of the Khan family and how they've not always kept their noses clean, for lack of a better term, throughout history since they became super rich. Did I ever tell you the story about my friend who was at Cornell in the 60s who had a dorm mate who was one of the Khans?
No.
So, older friend, church friend, like, he's in his 60s now. He went to Cornell, and in the dormitory I think it was Shad Khan's brother, but it was someone from the Khan family. And he used to sit there, and he had this like $1,000 fucking super nice fucking camera with the long zoom lens. So he could sit there and take pictures of the fucking girls volleyball team across the fucking quad at close up because he was a fucking pervert.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Cornell, for those of you who are not geographically inclined, Cornell is an Ivy League school in upstate New York, just so you know.
Yeah.
So not like there's a whole lot of opportunity to get good-looking broads in tight shorts, but when there's opportunity, I guess you'll take advantage of it for that guy.
This is also late 60s, so.
Touche. All right. Well, I mean, I guess for the time being, we got to put this aside because we pretty much addressed everything there is to address. But
Yeah.
I think the best word for me to describe how I feel about this, I'm fucking disgusted. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I hope Coda has safe ground to go to. That's the best way. That's the best thing I'll say right now.
Yeah.
All right. Get out your torch and pitchforks and notes, JJ.
Okay, let me find my notes.
In the meantime, I'm going to show a couple of pictures. I want to get your reactions to them. I believe I showed you one or two of the three pictures I'm about to show. Because it goes along with the very first thing I've written in my notes from AEW this past week. Okay. Are you ready for picture number one?
Yes.
Picture number one, morning of Dynamite. Dax Harwood decides to tweet out a picture of him wearing Bret Hart socks with the tweet saying, quote, decide to wear my masturbatory Bret Hart socks tonight. We'll get to what that means in a second. Number two, FTR drops a t-shirt this past week called The Foundation because reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then number three, the most insulting of all. Well, maybe not the most insulting, but made me want to punch a wall. Tony Khan tweeting out a preview for Dynamite Wednesday with a picture of him, Dr. Martha Hart, Oj Hart, and Athena Hart, in which he says thank you to them for joining AEW tonight as they honor the legacy of the late, great Owen Hart. So I have two things to bring up there to start off. Number one, reminder, Owen Hart was never in the Hart Foundation tag team. The tag team he formed with the Anvil was the New Foundation. And their colors were not fucking pink and black. They look like fucking Speedway Plug.
Yeah.
All right? They look like an early Bob Spark Plug Holly kind of shit. All right?
Yep.
So suck a dick on that, number one. Number two, it's the Owen Hart tournament, not the Bret Hart tournament. Stop your shit with the Bret Hart stuff, all right? Mm-hmm. And number three, the theme you'll see from me and over the next few weeks as these tournaments continue, I have a 3-word phrase I'm going to keep saying over and over. Fuck you, Martha, okay? This is nothing more than a money grab for the foundation to get free publicity and tell WWE to suck this big fat dick. That's all this is.
Right.
Nothing more, nothing less. This has nothing to do with honoring the memory of Owen Hart. It's your way of getting a cash grab disguised as a way of honoring your late husband. So fuck you, Martha. There.
Right.
I said it. You may speak your piece on that.
And the whole thing is she could be getting so much more money if she fucking paired up with WWE on this for her foundation.
Merch royalties, video game royalties. I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, they just came out with 2K22.
Right.
I have nothing.
Meanwhile, AEW has been touting the same fucking we're building a video game for the past 3 years.
Right. Which Owen's apparently in the game.
Yay.
Like,
yeah. Great. Imagine being one of the fucking, like, supposedly there's going to be 70 people on to choose from in the game. So imagine being one of the other 100 AEW employees that doesn't get a spot in the video game, but a guy that's dead that never even worked for the company gets a spot in the game.
Yeah, that too.
Like the 2K games, like honestly, I haven't played any of the 2K games in years, but the 2K games, at least it include fucking, like they have legends, but at least they include NXT guys in it.
Yeah, they include the whole fucking roster. Right. I mean, shit. I'll even go a step further. The 2K rosters include people they just recently cut in the past months.
Right.
Like, I think, if I remember correctly, they even have fucking Cassie and Jessica in the fucking game.
Yeah.
As the Iconics. And they've been gone for...
Yeah.
A year?
Over a year.
I mean, shit. I don't know, man. Anyways, opening match was Cole and
And
Dax.
just the fact of having Martha there.
Go ahead.
The fact of having Martha there, like, I don't know how many times I've got to say this, but I'm going to say it at least one more time. She fucking touted throughout that episode of Dark Side of the Ring that she wants nothing to do with wrestling, not WWE, wrestling. And yet there she is, fucking front and center, fucking with the camera on her to open up the fucking show. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Your husband is rolling over in his fucking grave.
She wants to make it rain into the foundation bank account, which probably reads Dr. Martha Hart, not the foundation. Anyways, so Cole and Dax open up the show in the Owen Hart quarterfinal match. Dax taps out to the sharpshooter because.
Did anyone reasons? Yeah. Number one, did anyone expect Dax to win this match? Number two, way too many false finishes. Number three, yeah, that's just really respectful. Have the fucking heel. Fuck. Oh, also, have the guy with 2 belts tap out.
Yeah.
Because that just makes your fucking tag team champions look so fucking strong.
Well, he's a tag team champion. He's not a singles champion. He's not expected to. Never mind.
He's got 2 fucking belts.
Oh, man. I tried to make too much sense out of something that makes no sense. Then we got a Darby and Jeff Hardy package. Bubbles. Why are you blowing bubbles for? What the fuck are you blowing bubbles for?
Because I was fucking bored.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks. All right. So, oh, God. All right. Then we get to. Oh, my God. This is the part of the show where it's like at least stuff makes a little sense occasionally, but this next segment made 0 sense from start to finish.
We went from babyface versus babyface to now apparently heel versus heel.
Not even. Did you hear any boos when Paige came out to do commentary? I didn't hear any boos.
No.
Okay.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything.
Then the last time Punk came to Long Island happened to be during the whole shit he was doing with MJF. So God forbid they forget about that. No. Let's have Punk come out to Long Island with a John Tavares New York Islanders jersey. And for those who aren't up to snuff on hockey, John Tavares is the guy who was supposed to be an Islander for life and then said, fuck you, and went and signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs last offseason and brought them to the postseason while the Islanders were riding pine and didn't even make the postseason. They went and started playing golf 4 weeks ago. So basically, you're having Punk work heel for no fucking reason other than A, last time he was in Long Island, he happened to be in a program with MJF, and B, he happens to be facing a guy from Long Island in the match he's working. Like,
yeah.
And he's and it wasn't even like he's kind of doing it. He was working heel on purpose the entire time he's out there. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it. I'm so lost.
Yeah. No sense.
I don't know. Anyways, then we get a backstage pre-tape with Tony Schiavone, Baker, and Jamie Hayter. Because reasons. Then we decide Danhausen needs to make his in-ring debut in a record timing, Let me try to rephrase that. Danhausen makes his in-ring debut by losing in record time to Tony Nese. Because, sure, why the fuck not? Then, Smart Mark cuts a promo and then Hook saves Danhausen from being beat up anymore, and now we have the birth of Hookhausen.
Ugh.
Yeah, basically. Then we
Like,
get the worst contract signing known to
ugh.
man because, MJF's got to have a contract signing for every fucking pay per view match he has.
Mhm.
MJF and Wardlow. Stipulations are 10 lashings. And God forbid Sean Spears doesn't do that fucking 10 gimmick anymore because, Ty Dillinger still exists.
Mhm.
So Wardlow's going to get 10 lashings of, I'm assuming, a belt. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have a cage match at some point between Wardlow and Sean Spears with MJF as the referee.
That's going to be next Wednesday.
Yeah. Then Wardlow tricks security into getting the handcuffs off him so he could properly sign the contract. And then Wardlow loses his shit and puts Smart Mark through the table. Because reasons.
Like, once again, they don't know how to space a television show. Because number one, this segment went way too long. But number two, you had fucking Mark Sterling out there for 2 segments in a row.
Yeah.
And having Mark Sterling out there for 1 segment is too much.
I'm going to say something that I think you'll agree with, but not many people are going to like me saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the worst MJF segment he's ever had.
I agree.
Like, it's okay to placate to your home crowd once or twice in a segment. Don't do it every fucking 30 seconds.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Especially when you're supposed to be the biggest heel in the fucking company.
Right. Like, I don't know. It didn't work for me. Didn't work for me at all.
Right. This is just, in all honesty, the way this should play out, Wardlow should lose at Double or Nothing. And then get his at Forbidden Door. But that's not going to happen.
Because it requires intelligence.
Right.
Then we get a package with Joe, Lethal, Dutton, Singh, whatever. Ricky Starks retains the FTW title over Jungle Boy. And it looks more and more like Christian wants to beat the fuck out of Jungle Boy every time we see him, but whatever.
Something made zero fucking sense in this match.
Pick your poison.
Since when does the fucking ref get out of the ring because someone comes to the outside?
I know.
Literally, in the history of fucking sports entertainment, of televised cable television wrestling, I'll just go that. I won't go back to fucking Gotch and Hackenschmidt, but I will go televised cable television wrestling. When has that ever fucking happened? Like, I mean, the person can come to ringside and get on the apron and distract the ref. But literally, there has never been a time where a referee has gotten out of the fucking ring during a match to tell the person they're and then get back in the ring 2 minutes later. There's literally been times where people have fucking come down and jumped into the fucking ring. But no, we have to have the ref get out. Like, the stupidest fucking match ever. Stupidest. Tony Khan proved in that segment that he has never fully paid attention to how a wrestling match is fucking booked.
I think the only time, now I don't remember a specific match per se, but if I had to think about a time period where it might have happened, it might have been Attitude Era, where Earl Hebner just decided to go completely out of character for 1 or 2 matches and said, fuck you, you're out, or some shit like that. But you're right. Your point is valid. Your point is completely valid. I'm just saying, like, because for some reason, the image of Earl Hebner getting out of the ring and trying to toss somebody like corporation or some shit like that, I don't know. But again, we're talking 25 years ago when nobody gave a fuck.
Right. And also, one last thing I want to point out.
Go ahead.
One last thing. They pointed out that Keith Lee has been losing weight.
I caught that too.
So Keith Lee can lose weight for Tony Khan, but he can't when fucking Vince asks for it. On the bigger stage for the bigger company with the better chance of longevity. I lost all fucking respect for Keith Lee. Like, I understood him going there and needing a paycheck originally, but no, now that you're actually losing weight, fuck you.
Yeah, I caught that. That was, yeah.
Before we get to the next segment,
okay,
because I know that the next segment was the whole fucking summit bullshit. Need to talk about that public service announcement commercial. About Asian American Appreciation Month or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Asian American Pacific Islander Appreciation Month, I believe it is, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because I noticed, like, so when that commercial first aired, there were people who were just like, Tony Khan can't shut the fuck up about his own product. And people are like, well, he's defending it. No, he's actually doing something good for once because he's talking about his heritage. Yeah, here's the fucking thing. Tony Khan wants to sit there and go, I'm Asian American. Fine. You can't then say growing up, because Tony Khan, I believe, is a couple years younger than me. I believe he's in his late 30s. Am I correct in that?
I'm going to double check. I believe you're correct, though. He is turning 40 in October.
Okay, perfect. So he's roughly the same age as me. So I'm sorry, but if he grew up watching wrestling, he cannot say, I never saw an Asian on wrestling when I was growing up. Because Mr. Fuji, the fucking Wild Samoans, the Head Shrinkers, fucking Pat Tanaka, Hakushi, Yokozuna, motherfucker, and then let's just get to WCW working with New Japan. I never saw an Asian in wrestling growing up. Fuck you.
Anything else?
Fuck Tony Khan.
Well, that's good, because that goes right into next thing I have in my notes. Fuck Judas. So we get the Jericho Appreciation Society victory speech, as it's coined. But 9 weeks. The standard for sports entertainment. I don't know what the fuck Matt says. I don't fucking know. I don't care. I try to turn my ears off when he's speaking.
It's a rip off of the thing that used to air right before
right for 75 years,
right
revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah. I know. I remember. I remember. I got it. Listen, I know they're the only guys that are saying it. These motherfuckers in the JAS need to stop saying AEW Galaxy. Like, shut the fuck up. I know the whole gimmick is to rip off sports entertainment and make fun of it, but just shut the fuck up. Stop saying that fucking phrase. It sounds stupid. Just stop it. So then we have the JAS get interrupted by, I guess we're going to put Blackpool Combat Club into this mix now with Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking blood and guts minus Wheeler Yuta, essentially?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think you might be right. Then we get a package with Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb because they're trying to tease that women's title match for Double or Nothing.
Hold on. Back it up.
Back it up.
I forgot. I need to send you something.
You need to send me something.
This, yes, yeah, check your DMs because this was the most ridiculous part pertaining to that fucking segment. That's a screenshot that's been going around online.
What, the AEF and W sign in the background?
No, look at the caption above the picture.
This photograph belongs in a museum.
Yeah,
Fucking why?
because oh my god, it's the epitome of fucking pro wrestling versus sports entertainment. And it shows everything AEW has done to build a giant storyline. Because, you know, guys just popping up for the first time ever in this fucking whole feud makes it a well played out storyline because it harkens back to Jericho versus Moxley. Yeah, welcome to my life.
Thank God I didn't see that beforehand. Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
So we got Tony Storm beating Jamie Hayter in an Owen Hart quarterfinal match. Yay. Then we get a pre-tape package of Sky and Kazarian for their TNT title match coming up on Rampage later in the week.
Kazarian has not had a televised wrestling match in almost a year and hasn't had a victory in even longer, but he gets a title match.
So I've come to a conclusion about AEW.
They can't go a single week without a gimmick match?
Well, aside from I'm getting yes and no. Hold on. So are you familiar with the musical Damn Yankees?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a certain song about the lead female character in that musical. And I'm going to paraphrase it by changing the lyrics slightly. Whatever Darby wants, Darby gets.
Yep.
So his Owen Hart quarterfinal match turns into an anything goes match with Jeff Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the notes that I wrote in sequential order through the match. Number 1, Jeff Hardy grabs a ladder and JR says, quote, "When's the last time you saw that? JR, motherfucker, we had a ladder match last week." JR, fucking JR, man. Number 2, the next note I wrote, worst men's match I have seen this year.
Yeah.
Third note, ladder spot, what the fuck? So, for those of you who didn't see Dynamite, early in the match, Darby tosses Hardy into the stairs. And that was enough time, apparently, for Darby to pull 8 fucking steel chairs out from under the ring and set them up like so the seats were facing each other and essentially made a table of chairs, more or less. While Jeff was watching him on a knee the last 3 chairs he was setting up. But that's
director set. Yep.
Right. So then Jeff pulls out the ladder, whatever.
Yep.
Ladder then gets shoved into the ring and unfolded and placed right at the ropes and apron where you can easily dive onto the chairs. We're not foreshadowing at all by doing that. So Darby and Jeff are at top of the ladder.
Yep.
And Darby essentially says fuck it and does again, my mind is a little fuzzy, but I believe it was a superplex off the ladder through the chairs, correct? I believe it was a superplex. I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I thought Jeff was already down and Darby did a dive.
Oh, right. Jeff was down, and he just happened to be laying on the chairs. I think that's what it was. Okay. So then we move on. Fucking crowd after the chair spot starts chanting, "This is awesome." It was not awesome. The
That
match
was
was not awesome at all.
disrespectful, is what it was.
Right. So then we get to the thing I hate the most, which is when Darby Allin misses a coffin drop on the apron. It's a stupid spot. Stop fucking doing that. Unless you really do have a death wish, stop fucking doing it. Then, to compound the stupidity, we have Jeff Hardy trying to do a swanton bomb onto the side of the steel fucking steps.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing?
You know how bad this match was? This reminded me of another really bad Jeff Hardy match. Jeff Hardy versus Bully Ray, Full Metal Mayhem.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
Where, if you recall, there was a spot where there was supposed to be a table spot, and before they went for it, the table they were going to use broke. And instead of improvising, Jeff went to the other side of the arena to find another table to bring back over to use instead of just skipping the spot.
Right, call an audible.
Right.
Then we get to the worst part of it all. Match ends with Jeff Hardy pinning Darby.
Mm-hmm.
As they're going off the air, Jim Ross has the balls to call it one of the best matches we have ever seen on Dynamite. Can we just hire Ian Riccaboni full time and say goodbye to Jim Ross at this point? Like, I love Jim. You've had a great career, but I can't anymore. I just can't.
But the thing is, not only is it JR just not... JR doesn't care. JR's getting a fucking paycheck. But JR's got Cocaine Con in his ear telling him to say this shit.
And he's got sock face
Mm-hmm.
right next to him. Then we get to Rampage, which I'm assuming you didn't watch on Friday.
Fuck no. I was in Maine.
Oh, right. You were celebrating your birthday. Death Triangle defeats Butcher Blade and Mark Quinn in trios action. Mark Quinn looks awful. I don't know what the fuck he's doing with this. Have you seen Mark Quinn? He's got this weird beard growing in. Looks awful.
I try to not see Mark Quinn as much as possible because I can't stand the kid.
He's got this weird beard growing in. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. It's weird. But anyways, Death Triangle wins. House of Lights go out. House of Black shows up on the apron, confronts them. Lights go out again. They disappear again. Whatever. Then Sean Spears beats Bear Boulder. Sure. Then we get a backstage interview with Lexi, Tony Nese, and Mark Sterling, which sets up a tag match for the buy-in before Double or Nothing. It's going to be Tony Nese and Smart Mark against Hook and Danhausen.
Yay.
Ruby Soho beats Riho in an Owen Hart quarterfinal match.
That surprises me. I thought they would have put Riho over.
I agree. Then we get a pre-team segment with Gun Club, Billy Gunn, and Acclaimed. Let me sum up the segment for you. Yeah, that was the ending of the segment. Hold on. You're jumping the gun, so to speak. Get it? Jumping the gun. So basically, the four wrestlers are sitting there, and Billy is standing facing them. He's like, all right, we need to think of... all right, so we need to think of a catchphrase. And of course, Austin starts teasing the DX phrase, if you ain't down with that, and Billy cuts him off. He's like, no, no, no. So Max Caster says, what's it he usually says at the start of his raps? Hey yo, I think it is, or some shit like that. And Billy's like, perfect, perfect, perfect.
Hey yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Billy's like, we need to come up with a signature signal. And of course, fucking Austin raises his hand and he's starting to reference the crotch chop, and Billy's like, no, 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 no. And so what do you think Max comes up with? I'll give you one guess.
The A.
Yeah, all five of them at the same time go into a circle jerk. Ah!
Terrible. Charles Barkley says it's terrible.
Anyways, so Tony Schiavone's in the ring trying to interview the baddies. Tony announces that Hikaru Shida is, quote unquote, not cleared to be in the Owen Hart tournament anymore against Red Velvet, when really she's just in fucking Japan. Okay? Yep. So they announced that her replacement against Red Velvet in the quarterfinals will be Chris Statlander. Sure.
So let me look. I want to go back to that. I want to finish up Rampage, but then I want to go back to that thing about Shida not being there.
Okay. Then we wrap up the show with Scorpio Sky telling Lambert and Ethan Page that he wants to fight on his own against Frankie. Match is going well. But Frankie looks like he's about to win. Lambert comes out to distract anyways. Page hits Frankie over the head with the belt. Scorpio comes 2 dazed and confused, hits his finisher, gets the pin. After the match, Frankie's like, what the fuck? I thought you were going to do this alone. Looks like Scorpio's arguing with Dan and Ethan Page, and he's basically saying, what the fuck? But then Scorpio turns and hits Frankie with the belt, and all is good in the world of Men of the Year. And that's how they go off the air. Oh, no, that's not how they go off the air. They go off the air with Sammy and fucking Ty Conti, who were watching the match ringside running in. Sammy and Ty run in because they were watching ringside with their mixed tag belts on their shoulders to make sure Frankie didn't get beat up anymore. That's how they went off the
air. But I fucking hate all of this.
I know there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack from the way the show ended. I know.
That's so stupid. All of it is so stupid.
It's AEW.
It's so stupid.
I know. You want to go back to Shida though?
Yes. So this touches on a couple different people in AEW, but it goes under the whole thing of because the thing that the basement goblins always fall back on of Tony Khan letting people work other dates. Because they're like, oh, well, Tony Khan lets people work indie dates, blah, blah, blah. So number one, this is what happens when you allow your talent to work other dates is, oh, look, Hikaru Shida's off in Japan when she's supposed to be here for this fucking tournament. And there's another person who this has come up where Tony Khan actually blocked them getting an extra date. And that's Bryan Danielson. I don't know if you saw the article about that.
I heard about it. I didn't read about it, though.
Yeah. So Danielson was supposed to get booked on this indie, super indie show in Washington State and Seattle, I think. And was outside of WWE to not be for AEW. He wants AEW to be able to get that, but AEW has no plans of running in Washington State now or anytime in the future.
That's dumb.
Thank you.
So you're willing to book yourself in California to placate to your California guys, but you're not willing to go to Seattle or any part of Washington State to placate to the biggest WWE free agent that you've signed.
Not in the immediate future, anyway.
That making no sense.
Yeah, no shit. And on top of it, it stopped Danielson from taking a booking, which the whole thing of I let my guys work indie bookings, obviously you fucking don't.
The only thing that just came in my head was you might not be. I don't think you're familiar with it. There's a TikTok thing. There's an old TikTok thing.
Yeah, no.
What's your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony.
Yeah, you did that last week with Fuck You, Ezekiel.
Yeah. It's the back end of it. Yeah. Speaking of fuck you. You know what? Hold on. No. There's a bigger fuck you I need to bring up. All right. So, I don't know what company this was. Quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. So, obviously, JJ and I are not exactly the biggest fans in the world of the Busted Open show on Sirius XM Radio.
God. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
And and more specifically, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of David LaGreca. I love his brother Don and the work he does with the Michael K show on ESPN Radio in New York City. I think him and Rosenberg and Michael K make a quality three-man team. Rosenberg brings things from a totally different angle that K and LaGreca are too old to bring to the table. It's a great show. David, on the other hand, he can go suck a dick. He's nothing more than a mark who happens to have a wrestling show on satellite radio. That all being said, David somehow stumbled himself into a booking with some indie wrestling company. I don't know who. I don't even think it was anywhere in the Northeast where he's from. Again, I don't know. I don't know. I know he's done stuff occasionally with Thunder Rosa recently because they had a whole thing, whatever. But whatever company he went to, thought it was a good idea to allow Dave LaGreca to do a spot in the middle of a multi-man match where Dave LaGreca was going to dive onto the pile of bodies. Except this dive turned into LaGreca literally walking on the apron to right where the crowd of bodies was and just kind of doing a little lean onto the top of the pile of bodies. So what was supposed to be a suicide dive turned into what he's called the LaGreca lean. Motherfucker. You want to talk about bastardizing any attempt at that company booking a C-list celebrity ever again? You fucked it right in the ass there, buddy.
It was like watching a pile of laundry fall onto a bigger pile of laundry. I have not seen anything that bad since the Young Bucks super kicking an 8-year-old.
Well, I'm going to compound this. I don't have a banner for it, but I'm going to compound that. Did you see what happened over the weekend at an indie wrestling show?
No.
So over the weekend, I'm going to try to bring up the article about this. Please hold for a moment. So over the weekend, IWE Pro Wrestling had a show, which is in Augusta, Georgia.
That's right.
IWE's in Augusta, Georgia, and there was a wrestler named Joe Black, who's
Did they meet him?
Joe Black's a big burly black dude. That's the best way for me to sum it up. So Joe Black is a heel, and he's playing up his heel character at ringside, and he was getting into it with a relatively even-sized male fan at ringside.
Oh, and he flipped a hat.
The fan goes ahead and decides to headbutt Mr. Black. And then Black retaliated and started a brawl with the fan, which led to referees and security having to break up the brawl in the middle of fucking ringside. Now, I'd like to sit here and say that Mr. Black is a complete asshole and had no business doing what he did.
No.
But if you're enough of a dumbass to not just talk shit to a wrestler, but actually forcibly touch a said wrestler, you deserve to get your ass kicked.
Exactly. And so I want to, HC Loke made a very good point on this, was that this guy was just playing the heel. That's all he was doing. Like, he went and he flipped the guy's hat. That did not merit a physical attack by the person at ringside. And what this does is it reflects badly on the company itself, its referees, and its security. Because if you're working security at an indie show, you're supposed to make sure shit like this doesn't happen. But apparently that's the problem with a lot of these indies, and including indies I've worked for in the past, where they hire people as security who aren't security, who are just like standing by the door in black t-shirts to look tough or to collect tickets or whatever, when security has to be aware of shit like that might happen. Like, that's why, like, Atlas Security at the fucking Philly Arena know what they're doing, because they make sure shit doesn't happen. Here you have an indie company that probably, you know, that fucking, that it completely takes away the last remnant of kayfabe that a wrestler can kick your ass.
By the way, I also believe Atlas Security is the company that works with AEW, which is why you always see security surrounding Moxley at all times when he's making his entrance.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's just it looks badly on the indie company, and it looks badly on the indies in general. It's like, you can't blame the worker. The worker was being a heel. He was doing his fucking job. You got to blame the fan for being a stupid motherfucker for trying to get involved, and you got to blame the refs and security and the promoter for not having a better grasp of the fucking venue and the environment and all that stuff.
In the end, let this be another lesson, because I feel like we've been giving out this lesson every 6 to 8 months recently, between somebody being a dumbass to jump the barricade and try to tackle Seth Rollins at Raw to now this. Let it be known, if your dumbass either A, gets physically into it with another talent, or B, has the balls to cross the line, physically cross the line, and come into wrestler territory, you deserve whatever the fuck comes to you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's my 2 cents on all that. All right. Now let's get to WWE TV. Oh. All right. So there's not a whole lot of WWE TV to go through. We just got to go through NXT and SmackDown, but NXT just, oh, God. So they begin the show by showing what happened off the air after Braun beat Joe Gacy at Spring Breakin'. Because if you recall, they went off the air with the 2 druids with the red face coverings getting on the apron behind Braun So what ends up happening is Gacy and the Druids jump Braun and abduct him and drop him off somewhere in the middle of Florida, wherever the fuck they decided to drop him off. So they showed that as stuff that happened when NXT went off the air the previous week. We'll circle back around to that. Then we get to the opening match. Toxic Attraction retains their women's tag titles over Roxanne Perez and Wendy Chu. Then they all jump Wendy Chu, and I don't know if they're trying to set up Mandy Rose against Wendy Chu or what they're doing, but the whole thing's just confusing. I don't understand what's going on there.
Probably.
Great. So then we get a vignette of Grayson Waller and Tiffany Stratton shopping and talking shit, and are they trying to make Grayson Waller and Tiffany Stratton like Barbie and Ken? Is that what we're doing here? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Basically, over more than he is, and so they're trying to get stiff. They're putting Tiffany with them to try to give her that rub, even though there's no rub to be had.
Yeah, like he hasn't built himself up enough yet in the company where there's a rub to be had. Unless you're just at a point where, all right, putting a big Indian dude with Grayson Waller didn't work. Tiffany and Sarai, that's just not working. So let's just put the two together and see what they can do. I don't fucking know. I don't know. So let me go to the gym of Diamond Mine. Roderick Strong introduces...
Your name is Toby.
Yeah. Roderick Strong introduces Damon Kemp to the Creed brothers. JJ, would you like to explain to the audience who Damon Kemp really is?
Damon Kemp is Gable Stevenson's little brother. So we're gonna have Gable Stevenson use his real name, but we're gonna give a kayfabe name to his brother, who everyone knows is Gable Stevenson's brother.
We're gonna call you Virgil. Like, I don't fucking know. What are we doing? Anyway, so we get Gacy in the ring. He's cutting a promo. And he asks Braun at the end of the promo to join him. So let's not try to win the NXT title, but let's try to get the champion to join your cause.
If you can't beat him, join him.
But he's already beat him.
No, but Gacy couldn't beat him. So now he wants him to join them. This is Bruce Pritchard not understanding how metaphors work.
So you're going to weaken the heel by admitting defeat.
Yes.
Brain damage. Then we get a Andre Chase, Bodie Leonard, Sarai locker room segment where Sarai is talking in Japanese and Bodie Leonard somehow understands it, even though there's subtitles on the fucking screen.
Well, no, because Bodie says he takes Japanese 102 at Chase U. And Andre Chase goes, "We have professors?" Because that's the joke.
Or whatever. So then on and off throughout the night, we get this Ivy Nile challenge. Why? Fucking why? Why? Like, why?
Reasons.
So then they unveil the
Reasons.
8 participants. Yeah. They unveiled the 8 participants of the women's breakout tournament, and then go right into the first quarterfinal match, which is Fallon Henley beating Sloane Jacobs. Sure.
Now, isn't Sloane is Santino's daughter, right?
No.
One of them is Santino's daughter.
I believe that's the chick who lost to Nikita Lyons later in the night.
Oh, okay. That's who it was. Yeah, my bad.
I was about to say, Jacobs is way too pale to be Santino's daughter. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that because I've seen pictures of his daughter before. So there's no way Sloane Jacobs. Plus, she's too young. Sloane's only like 19, 20. I think Santino's daughter is in like her mid 20s.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, then we have a Legato backstage interview. Santos tells Cruz to go start the car. We go to break. We come back from break. Cruz is going to start the car, but he gets jumped by Tony D and his crew and kidnapped, and they take off as revenge for Galante being kidnapped the week before.
So hold up here. Hold up. This is what confuses me, because this isn't the first time they've done that. This is the dumbest shit ever that Pritchard has fucking booked. It happened this time, and it happened during the Mandy Rose, Cora Jade bullshit. They show Cruz hit the fucking button to unlock the car. Then they show him get in the car. Then they have someone pop up from the back seat of the locked car. Same thing they did with Mandy Rose and Cora Jade, where Cora Jade fucking gets in the car after she unlocks it, and Mandy's already in the back seat. How fucking stupid do you think your audience is? Where you show them going click, click, and the lights going, arr, arr. But you expect us to believe that somehow, magically, either they've been hiding in that car in the Florida heat for 12 fucking hours and were able to slip in before they fucking locked their car to leave to go inside, or that they're the ultra mega most fucking ninjas and are able to open the door, get in the back, and fucking slide in and close it so fucking stealthily in 10 milliseconds. None of this makes fucking sense.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh man. Details, Bruce. Details.
Yeah.
So after that, Alba Fire, formerly known as Kaylee Ray, debuts her new look, which is
the same thing as she looked before.
Yeah, except she dyed her hair red. That's pretty much the only difference.
And is she supposed to be a heel now again, or what?
She's being cheered, so I guess not.
Well, it's because it's the fucking PC crowd. They cheer for everything.
Yeah. Well, she beats Amari Miller, who was making her return from Lash Legend, almost killing her. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we show Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams trying to enter the employee entrance, but Solo Sikoa shuts the door to lock them out. And then Melo and Trick go around the building.
Yeah.
Sure. Then we have Cora Jade backstage interview. Who cares? Solo Sikoa comes out to the ring for a promo, calling next after the North American title is defended at In Your House in a few weeks against Carmelo.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Grimes comes out, gives Solo his word that he'll be next. And then Melo and Trick try to jump them, but that doesn't work because Solo Sikoa is an Uso. Because, sure, fuck him. Then
So now we get
Legato
a tag
finds
match
out
for them this week.
probably. Then we get
No,
Legato
they announced
finding.
it.
Oh, lovely, outstanding. Legato finds out Cruz is gone. Santos calls Tony D. And now they're gonna have a match this coming week. It looks like I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Nathan Frazier's a backstage interview gets interrupted by Zion Quinn because reasons. Then Wes Lee pops in, and who cares? Who really fucking cares?
They're basically trying to tease that they want to find a new tag partner for Wesley because they don't think that he can handle singles in any capacity. So they're probably teasing him and Frazier.
Whatever, dudes. Let's see. Then Andre Chase and Sarai beat Waller and Stratton in a mixed tag match.
What the fuck was that shit? Did you watch this?
The ending was pretty stupid.
No, the whole walk through the fog and now Andre Chase is in a blue shirt and Bodie is an anime chick bullshit.
I thought that was funny. That
was fucking stupid.
It was stupid, but it was funny. Then we get more of the Ivy Nile challenge because everybody cares about that. Von Wagner and Robert Stone interviewed backstage. Von's jumped by Jiro. Then we get Toxic Attraction making.
We're still gonna do that
backstage. Yeah, apparently. Toxic Attraction, they make fun of Indy Hartwell backstage because we had to keep bringing up Dexter Loomis leaving, apparently. Then Nikita Lyons beats Ariana Grace, who I believe is who you were referring to with Santino's daughter.
Yes.
So Nikita advances to the women's breakout tournament semifinals against Fallon Henley.
Honestly, it doesn't fucking matter. We all know the ass bitch is winning this fucking tournament. Like, that's a foregone fucking conclusion. The moment that they showed that there were people in the tournament that have already gotten fucking months worth of vignettes, we already know who's fucking winning.
Then the Viking Raiders have a backstage promo teasing their rematch this coming week against the Creed brothers.
I fucking swear, they do the job to those fuckers again.
Can I give you a hypothetical?
What?
It turns to a best of 3 series. The Raiders win this coming week, and then they have a rematch at In Your House. You gotta fill the card somehow.
Why try filling the card with tag team champions?
I was gonna say it's better than they already have. They've already booked a tag title match. Actually, no, that's right. The Creeds can't face the Viking Raiders at In Your House because they already got a title shot. They booked the Creeds against Pretty Deadly.
So you know what that means? That means the Viking Raiders are going to do the fucking job again this week. Because you can't have the guys going for the titles fucking jobbing the week before.
I mean, they could. They could have Pretty Deadly screw
Jesus
over.
fuck, I hate Bruce Pritchard. I guess, but
I know. And then we get the match we all wanted as the main event that night. I'm going to say this much. Cora Jade should send Natalya a Christmas card every year for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Natalya gets the win because they had it. This is another thing that gets overused, I feel like. The whole passing out thing.
Yep.
Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
she didn't tap out. She never gave up.
She's 90 pounds soaking wet. Natalya should have broke her fucking back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, that's how the show
I hate it.
ends.
I hate it all.
They shake Natalia. Apparently, she shakes hands and hugs Cora Jade. So I guess that's one and done. I don't know. Whatever.
She was passed out. She was fucking passed out from the pain. But she was awake 3 fucking seconds later to stand up without being hurt to fucking hug the bitch. No!
That's not even the worst part of it. That's not even the worst part of it. Did you watch the end of this match?
Yeah.
How bad is it that Cora had to explain the spot to the referee 10 seconds before it happened? Did you catch that? Please tell me you caught that.
Yeah.
Like she's in the sharpshooter, and you can tell Cora is explaining something to the referee, and she happens to pass out within the next 10 seconds.
Right.
You clearly know what the fuck that was about.
Like, shouldn't you gone over that before you came through the fucking curtain?
Yeah. So then we get to SmackDown. RK Bro opens the show. They want to unify the tag titles. Sami Zayn says, not so fast, my friend. So Riddle decides to challenge Sami to a match where if Riddle wins, then they get their unified tag title match. Sami says, yeah, but not this week. I got to work things up the ladder. Adam Pearce comes out and says, yeah, it sounds like a great idea to me. Match is right now. Sure. By the way, I think we figured out the punchline for Adam Pearce. It's official. That's the punchline for him. That's his thing. That's his gimmick. Because fuck all. Riddle beats Sami Zayn, shocker. Then we get the bloodline in the locker room talking about whatever. Then Ronda, oh God, we gave Ronda a microphone again. Oh God. Ronda cuts an in-ring promo and then issues an open challenge for the title that night. And why not just shoot our load and just put Raquel Rodriguez right out there? Because fuck it. Let's not build her up. Let's just stick her out there. Just fuck any building. No. Let's not save Raquel for Charlotte, which would make sense. No. Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. Like, why?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Out of all the options they have on that roster. Yeah.
You could have thrown Shotzi out there, which we'll get to in a second.
They could have thrown Natty out there. They could have thrown Shayna Baszler out there, which would have insanely popped the crowd.
I have nothing. So Ronda retains over Raquel. They shake hands, whatever. Then we got Shotzi, Aaliyah, and Adam Pearce backstage with a nonsensical segment. I don't know, whatever. Then we get Madcap Moss in the ring with Caleb Braxton. Madcap gets attacked by Corbin. There's a suggestion they're writing Madcap off TV for a little bit.
Yep.
Because they basically attacked him the same way they attacked Drew back in January at day one. Sure, whatever. Then we get Naomi and Sasha. They successfully defend the women's tag titles over Natty and Shayna. Then we have Ricochet and Gulak backstage. Ricochet's trying to cheer up Gulak. And Gulak says he's going to put Gunther in his place next time he sees him. Gulak walks around the corner and who he's bump into.
Gunther!
Yeah. Gunther rips his shirt off, gives him a stiff chop, and yeah. Then we get Butch beating Kofi Kingston. Yeah, Butch, sure. Then Sami Zayn pleading his case to Paul Heyman backstage. Heyman says, "Your work is appreciated," and then he just walks back into the locker room. Sure. Then we end the show with the Bloodline in the ring. RK Bro interrupts. The Usos accept the unification challenge. So this coming week on SmackDown, hypothetically, we have a match to unify the tag team titles on free TV. Free TV.
They're gonna do something where it's not gonna happen, and it's
gonna be a
like, or there's gonna be a schmaz, and there's gonna be the actual unification inside Hell in a Cell. That's my prediction.
Yeah, because you're not gonna have. Yeah. Just, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. Now, before we wrap up, I have saved a couple of random notes.
Because I think what the Street Profits will interfere in this or some shit. Yeah.
Right. Couple of quick notes to bring up. I did not create a banner because this person does not deserve a banner. But there's something I skipped over from the New Japan results from Capital Collision over the weekend. Do you know who showed up and cut an in-ring promo during that show in Washington, D.C.? JJ,
I do not.
Know? Okay. The person who showed up at Capital Collision, Leo fucking Rush. Basically saying he's not 100% healthy yet, but he will be back. Yep. Did I say something wrong?
Fuck Leo Rush.
Okay. Sure. Let's see what else here. Okay. Two other things. Number one. So, me bringing this up is not to shit on this particular person, but it's to shit on an idea that's being brought up by individuals outside of this case. So for those of you who might have been living under a rock the last couple weeks, Tammy Sitch, formerly known as Sonny, was arrested for DUI manslaughter and is being held without bond in Florida for said case. And in the midst of these events that have been happening around Tammy the last couple weeks, a couple of people have been very vocal about this issue, particularly Bill DeMott and Mark Henry, because Bill DeMott really has a fucking leg to stand on. Both of them saying they want Tammy out of the WWE Hall of Fame because of her outside the ring issues. Now, I'm not exactly the biggest Tammy supporter, all right? But let's cut to the chase. Number one, of all the people who have been relieved of their duties by WWE the last 5 to 10 years, to say something about Tammy and her spot in the WWE Hall of Fame. I don't think Bill DeMott has a whole lot of a leg to stand on in this case. Yeah, dude. Yeah, man, no, just no. Just no. Like, Bill, shut the fuck up. Number one. The second part of this, and you can tell me if I'm totally off base by saying this. Hypothetically, if WWE and Vince McMahon were to consider taking Sonny out of the Hall of Fame, then may I offer a few more names we should consider taking out of the Hall of Fame? Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
Donald Trump,
Kid Rock, Snoop Dogg,
and I'll add one more to it. He was never formally arrested for anything involving this incident. But you might as well fucking take Carlos Colon out too for him trying to cover up the murder of Bruiser Brody. Like, Bill, Mark, if you're going to take one, you might as well just line them all up that deserve to be taken out. I'd even make a remote argument for X-Pac. Kind of, sort of.
China.
Yeah. You could probably even make an argument for Jake the Snake. Love him to death, but Jake was Jake. If you're gonna forgive and forget, then forgive and forget and shut the fuck up. Like, it's not a two-way street. There's no double standards here.
Right.
You're gonna take one out, take all the assholes out. All right. And that's not me calling Tammy an asshole, but let's just say she's not making all the right decisions with her life.
Yeah.
Because I've heard Tammy's a lovely woman, but something's not right up here right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming you agree with me on this based on your reactions.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. How about this? How about this for a change of pace? Instead of shitting on somebody when they stumble and fall, how about we be more uplifting and help the person get the fuck back up on their feet? How about that? Let's do that. Just,
yeah.
Fucking people, man. Just ridiculous. But that's not even the worst thing to end the show on. I'm sure you've heard about this.
Is it what I think it is?
Somebody stop Ric Flair from himself. Not only did footage come out over the weekend of him working out in the ring with Jay Lethal again, this son of a bitch somehow schemed Jim Crockett Promotions into putting together a show at the Nashville Fairgrounds July the 31st on Fight TV as the tail end of StarCast 5, which, by the way, is SummerSlam fucking weekend. Thankfully, SummerSlam is on Saturday the 30th, so they're not competing for airtime. But still, the point remains, StarCast is in Nashville that weekend. And I guess Conrad had enough booze and money to convince Rick to put on the tights one more time. The rumor right now is Rick is going to team up with FTR to take on the Rock and Roll Express and a mystery tag team partner.
So it could be worse. And I'm telling you how it could be worse.
Go ahead.
They're advertising this. They're advertising this as Flair's final match ever, which we've been down that road before.
Yeah, too many times.
I have a feeling this is not. I have a feeling this is not going to be his final match. This is going to be a money grab because this is how I think it's going to be worse. And I alluded to this months ago when Flair showed up at the NWA anniversary show in St. Louis. I think Billy Corgan's stupid enough to put Flair over Cardona for the belt.
No, God, no. That's not doing business. That's doing stupid business.
That's Billy Corgan.
I can't right now. I can't.
Which also, that reminds me of something. Something came up in my Facebook memories.
Oh boy.
This is from 7 years ago. And this was written by Angry Wrestling Vet. Your Indie World Championship you won really doesn't mean anything. And if you're still bragging about it in a few years from now as one of your greatest accomplishments, man, are you a real life loser? Hey, Matt Cardona. You're holding on to a bunch of indie wrestling world championships that are pieces of tin. Knock it off.
I feel like we have a recurring comment about that once a month at this rate with Matt.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man. All right. Well, unless you have anything else to say or bring up, I'm
good.
Ric Flair just mentally exhausted me to end this show. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's not even the entertainment of it that I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's just no way. No. I can't even think of. This is so confounding to me mentally. I can't form proper sentences about it. Like, the man is a pacemaker.
Luthez wrestled his last match at 73.
But I doubt he had a fucking pacemaker. Or kidneys that were going to fall out of his body any second now from the next drink. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether to be mad or sad. That's how confusing this is to me right now. That's how I don't get it.
Yep. Yeah.
On that note, I think I should probably just say goodbye because I'm lost in the sauce right now. So, happy 1 year anniversary, JJ. Let's try to brighten up the mood with the bubbles.
Happy anniversary.
It's actually funny that you do that because one thing that my niece got as a present recently is like, it looks like a toy machine gun, but you put a bottle of bubbles into it and it fires off bubbles rotating around.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the hell it's called, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Anyways, so yeah, that was episode 50 of White Heat, presented by Godzilla Media, sponsored by Mohawk Honda. For my bubble blowing friend JJ Alexander, I'm Brian Cady. You see our Twitter handles on the YouTube if you're watching. If you're not, I'm at Brian Cady, BrianCady. As I keep hitting the table, the light flickers. I should stop hitting the table like this. His Twitter handle is at JJ_Alexander. Any questions, comments, complaints? Hell, maybe if you actually want to provide input about the Japanese Yakuza thing, God knows nobody else is talking about it. You can email brian.cady@godzillamedia.com. JJ, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. To 1 year, my friend. And no, it's not coffee, it's water. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.